The truth occurs. The truth occurs.
Hi everyone. So, is North Korea about to trigger a nuclear war or what? Well, that's the rumor that's going around, but what's really going on? That's what I want to know. So first of all, the US has a long history of engaging in imperialism. And they have a history of getting the public on board with their initiatives for unilateral strikes by using propaganda. Examples, Afghanistan, the ghost of the CIA asset Osama bin Laden, who had pulled off 9/11 with a laptop in a cave. Well, they went in there looking for him while he was in some military hospital in Pakistan. A US military hospital, no less. We'll smoke him out. And then there was Iraq. No weapons of mass destruction over here. Maybe over there. And then there was Libya. So they went in there and they armed rebel groups. And then they overthrew their government and killed their leader. You hear that hammering? I'm sorry to interrupt my vlog here. You hear that hammering? That's Mr. Patel, my neighbor, and he's hammering day and night. They have a lot of gods in Hinduism, so he's got to put up a lot of pictures. I remember when I was young and we'd say like, oh, we feel really bad for the Russians because all they get is propaganda, all they got is pravda. Poor Russians, they don't know what's up. Well, guess what? Now it's happening to us. The US may need to strike North Korea now. Maybe we should just get in there and nuke them just to be safe. Secret transmissions have been detected from North Korea. Somebody picked something up on a ham radio and he's pretty sure it's from a North Korean sub. And there's more. North Korea warns it is on the brink of nuclear war with South. Does this mean they're just gonna nuke them? Well, somebody said it was hyperbole. They didn't really mean it. Well, not like that. According to the Korea Asia Pacific Peace Committee, the situation on the Korean Peninsula is inching closer to a thermonuclear war due to the ever more undisguised hostile actions of the United States and the South Korean puppet warmongers. See, they're blaming the US. But let's hope it's just hyperbole. What are they really doing? Well, apparently, they're testing missiles. Alright, I don't trust Pentagon officials, but here's what Pentagon official had to say about Korea testing missiles. Apparently they do this quite a bit. He says, we've been seeing some launchers moving around. These are smaller ones and don't cause us as much concern. We think these movements are within seasonal norms for their exercises. Okay. But there is then the Musudan, an untested weapon that has a range as far as 3,500 kilometers. In other words, it could reach as far as Guam. Probably won't do much when it gets to Guam because the US has missile defense shields. They can blow missiles up in the air. So that's not quite the same thing as having a thermonuclear war. And besides, this is not the first time that Korea has sent up missiles or tested missiles. This is from December 2012. North Korea rocket launch raises nuclear stakes. They tested missiles in 2012 and also in 2009. Apparently one of them was a camera. They launched a camera, but we were told that this was an exercise to see if they could launch a nuke. You know, I wouldn't be surprised if North Korea was doing exercises and flexing their military muscles because they are, after all, on the PNAC hit list. Not to say shit list. I just said it. And you can read more about this on this website here. It's a summary of the PNAC document, Rebuilding America's Defenses. And basically it outlines their plans for all the things that they are doing and have been doing for some time. Basically trying to take over the world. But what's going on with North Korea right now? Okay, my hunch, I'm not an expert on these kind of things, but I guess you could call it my women's intuition. My women's intuition is that they're just giving it a lot of attention in the media, and I don't really think it's a threat. I think it's one of those things that they want everybody to pay a lot of attention to, and meanwhile they'll do something like raid your bank account or pass some kind of law to restrict your freedoms or do some other stuff, the kind of stuff they do all the time. I think this is one of those this is one of those stories that gets a lot of hype, gets everybody wound up, but I really don't think we're going to have a nuclear war with Korea anytime soon. I do think the US would like to get in there and overthrow their government and get control of North Korea. And I do think that them having nuclear missiles makes it very difficult for the US to do that, just like with Iran, who may or may not even have them. But anyway, that's a whole other story. They have other things, like they process heroin and stuff, and that's also important to the US government. So anyway, the North Korea has some leverage, so it's not easy. You can't just go in there and overthrow them. But I think they're on the hit list, and this is probably just a lot of propaganda for now. Make sure that we all know that North Koreans and their government are evil, axis of evil, and also just to distract us so that we're worrying about that instead of stuff like that. The economy is going down the toilet. People are getting poorer and poorer. Everybody's on food stamps, and there's people living in tunnels underneath Las Vegas, including babies. That's America. Wow. Sounds like a third world country. Sounds to me like it's heading there. Maybe we should be more worried about that. Anyway, leave me your comments, and thanks for listening to me, and I'll see you next time.